Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Wrap for Thursday, May 5th, 2022, also known as Cinco de Mayo. Fun streaming day again today. Today was an interesting day because it was a combination of a brand new game, the continuation of a nice chill playthrough, and a fun pre-stream podcast all together. So, on the pre-stream podcast, we had some interesting news stories to talk about, some chill things to discuss. Nothing too crazy or major or over the top, but it was still a pretty entertaining podcast, okay? The first stream today was Trek to Yomi. Now, after playing it for one session, here's my opinions on Trek to Yomi. Brand new release under Game Pass, or I believe it's like $18 or $20, something like that, if you were to buy outright anywhere, okay? Visual style, excellent, beautiful. Looks like you're playing an old-time samurai movie. It literally does. The black and white art and the artistic style of the camera angles, pretty neat, okay? I like the story so far. 3 hours in, it went from being almost like a classic samurai tale to a supernatural twist that is really neat, all right? Although it is dark and it is gory, just to warn you, if you're going to play this game, it's not a children's game, that's for sure. The game has a lot of hidden areas. As you run around these stages, you realize that the more you explore, the more upgrades and things you'll find. It's not just about turboing through the stage and surviving. It's about actually looking around for optional collectibles as well as upgrades for your character. So it behooves you to look around, and of course you're going to get way more enjoyment out of the game if you actually take your time rather than rushing through. But the vast majority of the game is combat. Sadly, that's the shortcoming of the game, because the combat so far is not very complex, satisfying, or honestly very interesting. It's very basic. Even though the game continuously hands you new abilities and combos, you really don't need them. A lot of the combat is very basic. When I finally got to the 4th chapter out of the game has 7 chapters, by the way. I got through 4 chapters in one sitting today. The 4th chapter basically finally throws some challenge at you. But the only reason it throws challenge is because there's a lot of enemies coming at you at once from both sides. And because it's a 2D style combat game, you can't move out of the way of their attacks. So you have to basically, how can I say, lure them to one side of you so you're not getting pummeled from both sides at once and getting sandwiched. There's a few ways to do that. There's some ranged attacks you can use with projectiles to whittle down the ranks so that it's not so many enemies on one side of you at a time. But honestly, I don't feel like the combat is anything to really write home about. It's not very notable. It's kind of very basic. There's a parry system where most of the combat you're going to be doing this parry to reverse enemy attacks and then counterattack. And there's a few combos that are kind of cool that'll stun the enemy, and you can do like an execution after if you pull it off. But it's nothing very exciting, to put it mildly. 4 chapters in, and I don't think the combat has been very interesting. 3 chapters to go. So I don't know if this will change in the second half of the game coming up when I play it again. But for now, I like the artistic style. I like the story. The combat is meh, and that sucks because that's the majority of the gameplay of the game. You see? So that's Trek to Yomi. I got pretty far in it, and there was a lot of support for it today, which was excellent for a premiere stream, and I'm going to finish it up later in the week. Then the late stream was Skyrim After Hours, continuing on with the Dragonborn questline. And Dragonborn DLC is great. I explored the island. What I didn't do when I played this DLC back in 2013, I'm now doing. I'm exploring. I'm finding all the optional stuff. I'm getting cool items. I'm doing dungeons. It's really fun. And I'm happy that I went back to this DLC to experience it fully because of the way that I basically rushed through it and didn't really give it any time when I played it originally when it was a new thing. The audience was great, interactive, fun, great conversation. Support, dramatically slow, which is weird. Skyrim is like feast or famine, man. Some of these Skyrim streams, support's been sky high, and then others, it's non-existent. Tonight wasn't non-existent, but was incredibly slow. Didn't hit tier 1 tips goal, barely any super chats, 1 member. So it kind of is what it is. Thank goodness that Trek to Yomi was a really good supporter stream, but I just hope that Skyrim can get back to some kind of stability when it comes to support. Skyrim, keep in mind, was my #1 most viewed playthrough in January and the #1 most supported. And what happened was, new releases started coming out in February, Skyrim went to a night stream, and it all kind of fell apart after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the consistency isn't there. I'm happy that I can play a variety of games, and I'm happy that some people do usually come out to support them. I hope that, like, at least every other Skyrim stream ends up being a good one for support. You know what I'm saying? But I had a great time. Like, all day today was great streaming. I had a good time, and thank you everyone who attended. If you're going to watch that stuff on demand on YouTube, remember, liking the videos, comments on the videos, super thanks on the videos. 3 great ways that you can help out, okay? Tomorrow, finally returning to Elden Ring. Last time I played it was Monday. We got to Far Missoula, started making progress, and then I didn't play it all week. We're finally going back tomorrow. I don't know how far I'll get. People are basically telling me there's absolutely no way I'm beating it tomorrow. Okay? I guess there's a lot coming up that I'm not aware of. You know, I don't know how much longer there is between now and the end of the game. But we're going to see how far I can get and have a good time. All right? So I hope you'll join me for Elden Ring tomorrow morning. And then the night stream, of course, as usual on Fridays, Friday Night Fights, old school Street Fighter fun. The final countdown for the 30th anniversary collection until the new one comes out in late June. Okay? Saturday, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga probable conclusion. Saturday night, Halo Infinite returning to the late stream to check out the Season 2 multiplayer content. And that means Trek to Yomi will conclude on Sunday. And there'll be some more Skyrim Sunday night. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. Please have a good night. I'll see you in the morning. Peace out.